And our next storyteller will be Maggie Nuttall. Yeah. Keep applauding it, jerks. And don't forget, after the story, buy some beer. All right.
Hi, my name is Maggie Nuttall, and I'm a stand-up comedian. Yeah, and as you can see, I am not famous. And therefore, I must pay my dues by standing out in Times Square. Yes, 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 that is me. On 50th Street and Broadway, I'm handing out flyers for an hour and a half at a time to get that precious 5 minutes of stage time in front of strangers. And I deliver my exaltation for the virtue of stand-up my comedy in my own inimitable way. Live stand-up comedy at the Broadway Comedy Club featuring artists from Comedy Central, MTV, and VH1. And I go on and on like this in a Mobius strip for an hour and a half at a time. And I am greeted with a level of rejection from all over the world in every language possible, being pelted at me by passers-by carrying their packages from all over the earth. And the sidewalk in Times Square is an interesting observation point, I must say. I learned that guys who wear pink shorts don't dress themselves, and I see them riding a lawnmower in their near future. Girls that wear dresses that show off their twats, that just say that, oh, I am no slut. Well, I beg to differ. And men that have studded stuff in their face saying, oh, look at me, I am so different. Yes, you look like the same guy that I saw 5 minutes ago walk right by here. Don't you know? Well, one day I was out there and I was in the midst of my Mobius strip of shouting as I am wont. And a man tapped me on the shoulder and asked me my name. And he said, hi there, my name's John. And I looked at him and he was hot. And so I said, my name's Maggie. And then after that, I didn't hear a word he said because I was so busy looking at this vision of, muscular. Since I was thinking exactly where I wanted to put my hands on his body and where I wanted his hands to be on mine. And then he broke through with that deal-breaking question. Yes. What is your opinion, Maggie, of organized religion, God, and Jesus Christ? Yes. So I said, well, Jesus Christ, there are many stories about him from several cultures from many centuries before the Bible was written and before Jesus Christ was actually born. I think his story is very interesting. God, I think, is a wonderful idea. And religion, well, that's a bit exclusionary. And he smiled and backed away and walked 20 paces hence and pulled out a leather-bound Bible and began to commence and started reading from the Bible and screaming at the top of his lungs to all the people that were coming towards us that they were all damned unless they accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. Now, one would see that it would be very easy to mock that action. And though I thought it tempting, I thought again, because you need to understand, I'm at the sidewalk at 50th and Broadway. And a block over is the Times Square Church. And I understand, as I'm handing out my flyers, that he needs to get asses in those seats as much as I need to get asses in the seats of a comedy club. So we are essentially in the same business. Now, what is a girl to do? I mean, I'm standing on the corner thinking to myself, here I am, standing across from me, an opposing philosophy. Shall I raise my voice in I'm trained, stage-wise. My voice can carry on for blocks, whether you want to hear it or not. Should I engage in this vocal competition, this cacophony of two opposing ideas and ideologies? Should I do that? It's so tempting. Then I thought, hey, I could do something else. I could go under his voice, and so I could say an array of other things. And so while he was telling the world that they were all damned, as we stood there, side by side, facing international capitalism on its way towards us, I chose to go another route and say, hey, wouldn't you like a little escape? We're not here to change your minds. We're not here to change your religion. We're just here to offer you an escape, a little bit of derision. Come to the stand-up comedy club. And the cards left my hand like candy, okay? Like candy, they took my cards. And when I arrived at the club, I was greeted with a full house. And I stood up on that stage and I delivered my 5 minutes of humor. And I was greeted with an ovation. And I can only thank God for that moment in time. And at that moment, just that moment, I really was a believer. Thank you very much. My name is Maggie Nuttall.